Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm from the YouTube channel Animal Abuse Behind Closed Cages. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch this video. And if you're new to our channel, welcome. In the video, I'm going to be talking about how to talk about animal abuse. Because a lot of people don't talk about it very much or feel awkward when they're talking about it because it's a serious topic and maybe they don't want to offend people. And it's especially hard with small children because you don't want them to be exposed to something that they're not ready for. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to navigate all of those problems and give you some tips and tricks. Talking about animal abuse is an important and easy way to spread awareness to other people about these beautiful creatures that we live with and the horrible way that humans often treat them. So that's why it's important to know the right way to talk about animal abuse. And that's what this video will be about. Let's start the video. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how you can include animal abuse into your everyday conversations. Because when you're talking with your coworkers or your friends or strangers, etc., you usually talk about casual topics like the weather and stuff like that. So it's not usually common to talk about animal abuse. It's a serious topic and it's sort of random. So I'm going to explain how you can talk to animal abuse to anyone. The first way to put animal abuse into your daily conversations that I'm going to talk about is to first talk about pets. That's an easy topic that you can talk about with anyone. According to the American Pet Products Association, also known as APPA, approximately 35% of all households in the U.S. have a cat and 44% have a dog. So that shows a lot of people have pets, so it's easy to talk about pets and people will understand what you're talking about. So something you could do is, if you're talking to a stranger, ask them if they have pets. Or if you're talking to someone that you already know has a pet, ask them how their pets are doing. And then after that, transition to talk about animal abuse, since animal abuse and pets are closely related. So it'd be like, oh, do you have any pets? Well, did you know that a lot of people abuse their pets? The next tip I have to make animal abuse in your conversations easier is to wait for a pause in the conversation before you start talking about animal abuse. This is just something most people already do in their conversations, because if you're talking about cooking and then you just randomly start talking about animal abuse, it won't make very much sense to the person you're talking to, and they might be confused and not want to talk about animal abuse. The third and final tip that I have is to only talk about animal abuse in appropriate situations. So, for example, if you're giving a speech at a high school reunion, don't make the speech about animals because it doesn't make sense for the situation. Good situations to talk about animal abuse are with your family at dinner or in small groups at parties. It's important to be open to other perspectives and points of views, but it's also important to show your own argument regarding animal abuse. So here I have some tips on how you can convince other people to help stop animal abuse. The first one is to use statistics and/or specific information to support your argument, and always make sure to cite your sources. So for example, if someone says that animal abuse never really happens, you could say that according to AnimalSake in 2007, around 1,880 animal abuse cases were reported, which is a lot. And of course, there were a lot that were never reported because people didn't see it happening or didn't report it. Another thing you can do to convince people to help stop animal abuse is to first listen to their opinion and not interrupt them, so that you understand where they're coming from with their opinion. Then after that, you can prove them wrong so that they can see what they were thinking that was not right. Another thing you can do to be more effective when telling people to stop animal abuse is to be confident. Always use eye contact and don't mumble. Another thing you can do to convince them to help stop animal abuse is to focus on motives that you both agree on and explain their relevance to animal abuse. For example, if you are both strongly against child abuse, say that animal abuse is not very different from child abuse because animals have feelings just like children do, so therefore animal abuse should be stopped. Now I'm going to talk about the best ways to talk about animal abuse with children. Anna and I both found it effective to start with an animal fun fact or trivia. That way the child gets interested and learns something new. For example, did you know that elephants are the only animals that are not able to jump? The best age to start talking about animal abuse with children is age 7. It doesn't have to be exactly 7, but the best time is somewhere around there. And of course, it depends on the maturity of the child. This is a good balance between having your child learn about animal abuse early so they know what to do, and not exposing your child to something that they're not ready for yet, or making them feel too sad. Number 3. If a child is too young to be taught about animal abuse, they can be taught the importance of animals instead. If they understand that animals are important, later they will be less likely to abuse an animal because they know how important it is and how it has feelings. Next is to use simple and appropriate language. Use simpler words that children will understand so that they know what you're talking about. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch that video. I know that was kind of long, but I added in some interesting facts to make it more fun. And don't forget to leave a comment to tell us what you would like to learn about next. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't take any time, barely. And we would really appreciate it. In future videos, we'll give shout outs to people that are subscribing. And please like this video. Again, thank you so much. See you next time.